Hello there, my friend. Welcome to the third quarter of life inner wealth webinar. And it's for those 41 to 60 years old. If you are not in that age group, you stay right here anyway. The third quarter of life inner wealth webinar. Can major problems be solved in 15 minutes? Look at this list. I don't care what it is that may be going on in this critical period of your life from 41 to 60. And if none of these things are going on, you still want to stay here because I guarantee you either you're, you know, facing some of these things now or you will be facing them during this period of time. At least one or two of these things are on the list, and the other things are on the list of whatever site you're on here. So we're going to do this, and we're going to be able to solve any and all life's critical problems or serious problems with three things. One, mindset. And that mindset has to be a mindset of intention. And that intention has to be stop framing yourself. What happens in this critical period of life between our third quarter is that we start looking at the frame of our lives. We start looking at what our lives are here and what happened. And so then we don't sometimes always feel very good about this, or we don't, it's not enough, or we're not satisfied. We got tons of success. But so we start looking at the frame, and our focus is the frame of our lives. And we start believing that our lives are all about the frame. Instead of going, wait a minute, this could be all beautiful art. No matter how many of these ugly things that happen or are happening, they can turn into beautiful art. So it's intention to stop framing yourself and getting your focus off the frame of your life into art and put it on the art of your life. Will set. This is about intervention and prevention. You've got to be determined. You got to have the will to create some intervention in your life and prevention from these things happening. And the preventative, if everything seems pretty good and life is going along well and you're in this age group, watch out. I'm going to address that in a minute. It's called complacency. Number three, skill set. This is all where the invention part of your life comes in. See, this is a period of time where you should invent a beautiful life, a life that you're a master of, a life that is definitely benefiting so many other people. This is a period of time for invention. Now, between my 40s and my 50s is, oh my gosh, I gained the world. I conquered the world. I was on top of the world. And the millions came easy and all the stuff. Oh, I got it. I was right. I was determined, not knowing a lot of it was I was just trying to prove to the world I was good enough. You see, I didn't have a life by design. I was living more by default. So this is a critical period of your time. And now that I'm 71, looking back on it, I now know that. So we got to not live by default. It's got to be by design. And it's not defaulting to your BS habits, which is your belief systems, habits of thoughts. That is what is going to get you in your 50s and 60s. I had belief systems that between my 40s and 50s made me everything I wanted. I thought I gained the world. Between my 50s and my 60s, those same belief systems destroyed my soul. They didn't allow my soul to come through. Understanding this third quarter life is critical. It's a pivotal period. It's not a midlife crisis. If you are going through things and you really go, oh my gosh, it's not a crisis. Trust me. It's a time for correction. And then the focus is going to be shifting from a crisis of identity to a life of clarity. Wisdom from experience. A mentor of mine told me many, many years ago, a much older gentleman. He said, Fred, life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. I thought I was pretty smart. I had it. Between my 40s and my 50s, the millions came in. This happened, the nice house, the nice car, all the things that a lot of people think, oh my gosh, it was wonderful. And then in my 60s, the true understanding comes from reflection and experience. So I vowed to ensure that my grandchildren and others understand this critical period of their life, 40s and 60s. I gained the world between 40 and 50, and I lost my soul between my 50s and my 60s. And I'll share that story with you in a minute. So we got to be living forward, but we got to understand our previous life and not the frame, but the art. Identify crisis from crisis to correction. The hidden crisis of identity that many face between 41 and 60 is just really, really crazy. And the importance of understanding your thinking habits, your BS, your belief systems and attitudes is what it takes to really solve problems and prevent problems in 15 minutes. I promise you it's possible. And it is. You will see that you will solve these within 15 minutes with the right training, with the right skills. So coaching, versus therapy. Therapy is to treat people for dysfunction, for disorders. And therapy is so necessary when you can't function and you've got a lot of disorders, and it'll get you up to the point of being functional. But now what do you do from there? Because you've got to eliminate all these beliefs, the limiting beliefs. You've got to change your beliefs. So you need coaching during this time. And that's what I'm going to help you with. And there's going to be the free section of coaching that is going to blow you away with what I'm going to give you all for free because I am committed in this fourth quarter of my life, now 71, that I don't want anyone to lose their soul between the age of 50 and 60. And if they have lost it, after 60, I'm going to help them get it back and not get it back, to know it's there and unbury it from all the stuff that's been piled on top of it. So this is all about becoming a master. It's time for achieving clarity, vision, and a life plan. And I'm going to show you how to do it. This autopilot living, you got to break free from this. I was on autopilot. I mean, what I achieved between my 40s and my 50s was unbelievable. And I was all on autopilot. The millions came automatically after the first million. And then all the other things, all the success came automatically. And I thought, oh, this is fantastic. But between my 50s and my 60s, my soul started saying, wait a minute, what about me? What about me? Many live on autopilot during this time, especially 40s and 50s. Success and wealth can many times create complacency. That's what happened to me. It created complacency. And that complacency is worse than cancer. Matter of fact, complacency is the cause for a lot of physical cancer. And the same thing that gets us up to the top pushes us right back down the mountain if we don't understand our souls or we don't understand who we really are. So my personal journey of twisdom, time and wisdom coming together, I've trademarked that, and I want to make everyone become a twisdomologist, embracing time, embracing wisdom. So, I mean, I was so successful, and I came from nothing. I came from a life, a last of 6 kids, and I had a brother that died in prison after 28 years. I had another brother that hung himself at 48 after a life of drugs and alcohol. I had my first experience with mental illness between the ages of 5 and 6. And it was for my oldest brother who had mental illness. And I was in and out of going and visit him in mental institutions. And yet he's the one that sexually abused me from the ages of 3 and 4. So, despite all that, I was determined I was going to be successful. I had a belief system that I had packaged in the 35 years of Christianity that caused me to be so ultimately successful in so many areas of my life. But those same belief systems destroyed me between 50 and 60 or held me back from my own soul. So I have vowed that I'm not going to let anyone lose their soul between the ages of 50 and 60. And it starts from their 40s. And the reason I specialize 40 to 60 especially is because you're before your 40s, you think you still know it all. And it's kind of hard to break you through that. If it's after 60, you're so difficult to get to. But I love my clients that are over 60. They know I do. But oh my gosh, it's like, I want to shake them. So between 40 and 60, you're a little bit more pliable. But here's what happened to me. In 2012, I said, oh my gosh, this doesn't make sense due to some crisis and conflicts and circumstance going on in life. I said, that's it. I've got to separate here. And I thought it was my physical environment. And I said, I've got to separate from this. After 40 years, I got divorced in January 2013 after 40 years. January 2014, my 36-year-old daughter gets flu and pneumonia and dies. Now, I had prayed in 2012. I don't understand. I thought I understood truth for 35 years. I thought I had the truth. I could tell everybody how they were wrong. I could tell everybody how right I was. And yet I had no clue of my own soul and my soul intelligence and what it was crying for. So life said, I got you. I got you. Didn't realize it then, but now looking back on it, I understand it all. And it's so beautiful, this twisdom, time and wisdom when you embrace it. And I really divorce. I told my wife then, I said, look, I'm ripping up my life up in 2013, honey. I said, I don't understand all what happened to us. We committed so much. We did this. I worked so hard. I did this. I did that. And we did this and we did that. And I said, I'm ripping it all up and I'm going to throw it up in the air and I'm going to pray because I believed in divine intelligence, divine integrity. I was breaking out of my 35-year box because I got thrown out of the organization I was in because I said, let's start thinking outside of our boxes. And they said, you could stay, but You're not going to talk about that stuff around here. So everything wasn't working. So I said, that's it. I'm ripping it up. I'm throwing it up in the air, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to put it all back together again, hopefully. I'm going to seek wisdom from above, and that's all I'm going to ask for. But guess what happened? The divorce, the loss of a daughter, loss of a $35 million portfolio, all kind of things happened after that. But all this time and wisdom of saying, I got you, hold still, hold still. And wow, what has happened? So I've vowed for this fourth quarter of my life that everyone would between 40 and 50 still gain the world, but between their 50 and 60s also gain their soul. Life challenges reshape my belief systems and my thought patterns, and thank God for that. I thank God every day. Reevaluating your identity. Who would you be if you did not know who you were? Was the verse from A Course in Miracles that got me going, oh my God, I don't know how to answer that after 35 years of a self-taught theologian, someone who dedicated themselves to success. In my profession, I had disciplined 4 or 5 areas of my real estate profession. I had conquered raising money. I mean, I could go on and on and on. But between 50 and 60s, I lost my soul. I didn't lose my soul. I didn't know who my soul was. So that one question, who would you be if you didn't know you were, is what set me on this path of understanding true identity. And it goes beyond roles, successes, and struggles. The third quarter crisis is a chance for correction. If you're feeling some real pressure right now, it's not a crisis. It's a time for correction. Time and wisdom is serving you. Pay attention to it. Life is like four-quarter game, 41 to 60. It's the most critical. And then this is when you're going to identify what is time really for? What is time for? Many face identity crisis during this time, and it's time to recalibrate and correct. Don't let this crucial time become a missed opportunity. And the greatest disaster is complacency. The illusion of being okay can mask deeper issues. This time often brings unspoken emptiness and unmet needs. It's about finding the courage to speak the language of your soul. The word courage has the Latin word cor, C-O-R, in it, which means heart. It's in the old definition was to speak one's heart. Understanding your courage is, the courage. Your soul is crying out for courage to say, hey, speak your heart, speak your heart. And that's those voices that come late at night when you're going to bed. Or when you get up first thing in the morning, hey, there's something that's just not there yet. And that's your soul intelligence. That's your soul crying out saying, hey, take care, pay attention. And so, my own struggle with expressing my heart during that time, looking back on, I realized, oh my gosh, I didn't know how to do that. The courage to be authentic and true to oneself, important of letting go of the need to be right, to find peace, and to be able to speak that courage of your heart, letting go of false idols and BS. Watch this. Your issues, your circumstances, your problems become idols. They really do. We start idolizing the frame instead of the art of life. So success, problems, BS, and the need to be right become idols. We don't realize it. And this distracts us from our true selves, and it hinders our growth as true, beautiful souls. And we just become doers, human doers instead of human beings. And we got to choose peace over being right. The work I do with organizations, corporations, whether they're public, private, small businesses, it's all the same. The leaders that always are insisting they're right destroys the organization. The families, there's so much emphasis on who's right than what's right. The need to be right can block the flow of your soul's wisdom. Peace is more valuable than being right. There's only a 60-40 chance for you to get someone's attention. And that 60-40 came from a scientific research that the best couple, the best people interacting together, even when they're at their best, they're only getting 60% attention, the other person, because the other person's 40% occupied with their thoughts and who they are and what they need and what they want. And that's if they're at their best. So if you're a best employee, they're only showing up 60% to totally their mental capacity and all that, because that's all it's available to be able to give out. So can you imagine when there's some conflict? You think you're talking to someone, you're only talking to about 20% of them. So would you rather be right or would you rather be at peace? This ideal concept of twisdomology, taking time and wisdom, is just a beautiful dance with time and wisdom. It's so beautiful to understand that how it's serving you and life is happening for you, not to you. So that's what this critical time is all about. If not now win. I'm going to show you how to become a master in solving everything in 15 minutes. Break through the and this is about breaking through the good news. You have the power to change your BS, your belief systems, and habits. True identity is not defined by the P, C's, or T. Power, position, possessions, crisis, conflicts, and circumstances, or time. You know, we see the clock sometimes. We feel like, oh my gosh, and it but no, that time is beautiful. What is time for is the question. So I'm going to get you to embrace time and wisdom, and I'm going to show you how to do it. And you're going to become a twistomologist. No, it's not a cult I'm starting. I have a thing called the 920 Society. My relatives tease me, and they say, "Oh, gee, he's starting a cult." Well, let me give you the other side of it. Is because of this assessment, because of the things I'm going to offer you, this is what got me divorced after 40 years, went back for seven, divorced seven. I'm sorry, divorced seven, went back for two, tried it again, didn't work. A year later, I'm at this bedside of my ex, and that night a miracle happened. And we've been back together for 2.5 years, and she's totally healed and well and everything else. It's incredible. When you really rip just everything up, throw it up in the air, and let divine intelligence, divine integrity, divine wisdom, put it back together for you, then life really takes on a totally different meaning. And this is going to start with a very simple assessment for you. And it's going to provide you insight and thoughts into your beliefs, your habits of thoughts. And this tool is for growth and alignment with your true self. And it's a 44-page report. You're going to get back all free, no cost. 44-page report revealing thought patterns that sabotage or support your success. And then I'm going to give you a portal that you can take this often. I take it very often. We had a big struggle with my staff about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I said, "Hey guys, we got to retake it. We all got to take it and refocus." So I want you to come to the website. I want you to take this 15-minute assessment, and I'm going to send you back a personalized video, a 44-page report of your results, and I'm going to give you an overview of your results. And I'm going to get you on a path for this critical period of your life so you can solve problems, you can dissolve problems, you can prevent problems, and you will be living a life of peace versus always being right. Is a much better way to live. So go ahead and take that 15-minute assessment, and I will send you back what I just promised you, all without cost or obligation. And then I'm going to look at it with you. And if you want to take it further, I'm going to show you the way to do it all alone, all by yourself, but getting some mentors that don't cost you anything in case your financial situation doesn't allow you for any other coaching. And then you could go into my mastermind without cost. Secondly, is to show you how to do it with you. I will do it with you, alongside you, through a private mastermind. And then three is committing to a 6-month program of total life transformation. So take this assessment, and I'll see you on the other side. And I really appreciate you taking the time being here. Thank you so much. Bye bye.